Yeah, first and foremost, my heart goes out to Juwan Gary. Gets a chance to come home and play in front of friends and family, and um, I think he separated his shoulder. He's a great kid. I spent a lot of time getting to know him and his family, and I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. And then just disappointed, and I'm not into the clapping because we played hard stuff. That we spent 9 years here. We're past those days. We we're in a different place than that should be. We're not. Should be in a different place than that. And our inability to execute anything offensively throughout the whole game, but even more so in the last 2.5, 3 minutes of the game, makes it really hard to win a game like today.
Dave?
Hey, Frank, thanks for doing this. What happened on the last play? AJ and Justin were saying that the play was for a 3, but somehow the 2 got.
I don't know. You probably know as much as me. We ran something where there's 3 different options for a 3-point shot, and Alabama stood around the 3-point line, and instead of running what we asked to run, we just kind of just no mental connection with the situation, and but that's the story of the whole season. And it's no more excuse. We've been practicing for 3 weeks now. There's no more excuse for that. That's the story of the whole season. It's our inability to have 5 guys on the same page when it's time. When it's not, let's go run and shoot an open court 3 or a layup. When you have to execute a play, you need 5 guys connected, and we just can't do that right now. It's really frustrating.
Colin?
Frank, 2 questions. What did you think of 7th shot with, I think, 17 seconds left, where he kind of pulled up and missed that jumper?
Yeah, it's again, I mean, he had the courage to go take a shot. That's not the shot we wanted, but he had to, because we couldn't execute the simplicity of what I asked to do in that possession. So, I wish he would have put his head down and he had a bigger guy on him and just try to drive the guy and create a foul. But 7th is really good from that mid-range. Those little 14, 15-foot pull-up shots, he's really good at them. And he went to the shot that he's good at. It's what made it harder is he had a 6'7" guy in front of him. So and that guy did his job. But again, he tried to bail us out after guys not executing what was called.
And I guess you've kind of mentioned it already, but just how frustrating is it that you have a bunch of returning guys on this team and you can't seem to get consistent play from the night in and night out, especially on that last play when Jermaine and Justin were the 2 guys that were involved in it?
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you. That's the frustrating thing of the moment that we're in right now. And it's not because of what happened in December. I mean, we've been going now. This is week 4 where we're going at a consistent basis. We got older players. We got guys that should understand the sacrifices that players before them have made to create the atmosphere that we've built here. Because let's sit down here and let's be honest here. We've got the 3rd most SEC wins in the last 5 years in the whole league. We've got 19 or 20 top 20 wins since I've been here. Yeah, so it's a lot of guys have sacrificed a lot to build that, because those numbers didn't exist here before we got here, and it's disappointing that guys have been in the program for 3 years and 4 years slip up in that moment like that.
Michael and Nina?
Frank, what did you think? I know you're talking a lot about just this Alabama team liking to run down the court, the rebounding, some of the challenges that come with that, some of the long rebounds. Just what did you think of the defensive effort tonight? And, especially in that second half, it seemed like some guys were getting in foul trouble along the way. Just what did you think of the defensive effort tonight?
Our half-court defense was pretty good. I don't think that was a problem. Our transition defense was hit and miss. We get, I use the word casual a lot. We get guys that buddy run in the open court next to their man. And you can't do that against Alabama. They're coming at you. I mean, you can't do that against us. We're coming at you too. And, when the shoe's on the other foot, but our transition defense was hit and miss. What killed us was our inability to grab defensive rebounds. I mean, think about this. We gave up 18 offensive rebounds. We turned it over 19 times. We were 6 of 25 from the three, and we missed 6 free throws. And we're in a 3-point game, and it just, and then give Alabama credit. Every time we made a defensive mistake, they scored. And then anytime they made defensive mistakes, we miss. You can't have that and win these kind of games. And that comes from courage. That comes from commitment. That comes from mentally engaged to the team. And when you don't do those things, then you don't have moments to celebrate. Unfortunately, I live life by a saying: in life, you get what you deserve. And we, because of some of our inconsistencies, we didn't deserve to win a game like today.
Mitch?
Frank, you and the players have used that one word all season, just trust, and trying to get on the same page, trust each other on the court. In that situation where it comes down to that final play, how frustrating is it just to see that you, at this point in the season, there's just not enough trust to be able to think that you guys, the players, can execute that play and find the three? Yeah,
it's always someone else. It's not just one guy. It's always someone else that breaks things down. Someone else that breaks everything down. We might be. You guys might think I'm joking. 0 for the year in executing coming out of timeouts. So as a coach, you feel helpless. You feel hopeless and helpless on the sideline to be able to help on how to be able to get somebody a shot or make them understand where the defense is going to break at so they know when to attack. Mitch, it's not just that last possession. That's just magnified because the game's on the line. It's anytime we come out of a timeout, anytime I call a play, we don't execute. And, for the last 2 weeks, I've been really trying to coach offense through film and defense on the court. And, so our offense is very vanilla and very simple. I thought we did some good things there today. But then again, everything's magnified when you go 6 of 25 and you turn it over 19 times. Guys come in the gym and shoot balls. I've told you guys before. I don't just say they come in on their own. They shoot. They come in with Coach Will Bailey and they shoot. You got to have courage and when you're in a game. You got to have courage and make the shot. And you can make 100 when the lights are off, but when the lights come on, you got to eventually make shots. And if you don't, it's going to be really hard to win. And especially when we're in that place, Mitch, where we're still trying to learn how to trust what we're doing and each other to win a game like tonight.
Colin?
Yeah, Frank, you mentioned after Mississippi State, you wanted to see more energy from Justin. I think he played pretty well against Herb Jones and finished with 15 points and 7 boards. Just what did you see from him? And is he getting to the point this season where you're getting the consistency in terms of day-to-day energy from him?
When he plays with that energy, we have a chance to win. When he plays with that enthusiasm and that aggression, we got beat to 50 balls today. There's numerous balls that were bouncing that went between our legs and they beat us to the ball. We got to clean that kind of stuff up. And that's directly tied to energy and toughness. I couldn't play a lick. If that ball was on the ground, either the ball or the guy next to the ball was coming with me. We don't have that mindset. Sindarius would come up with the ball. Think about that. He's a pro. Chris Silva will come up with the ball and he's a pro. But we just don't have that mindset. And that's why Justin's energy and commitment to playing with aggression is so important, because that's that's what he brings every day to the table. And if he doesn't bring it, then it's a fight to find somebody that's willing to be consistent with that.
John?
Yeah, Wilden seemed to have a big first half. What did he do to help get you guys out to a big lead, and how was he contained in the second half?
He contained himself. He just, he just goes into these mental places that I don't have an answer as to why he goes to those places. We're trying to help him. He's a great kid. But in the first half, we knew that we had an advantage there. And I thought we did some good things offensively, and he scored. And then in the second half, he just got the mental block, and he tried to shoot. He had a couple opportunities to score around the basket. He didn't. He had a real bad turnover that he just can't make. And then the worst part is that then his ball screen defense got really bad. And it all happened like boom, just like that. It went from really good to really bad. And with Alabama, if your ball screen defense is bad, you're in deep trouble, because they just make you pay. And so, but he's not at fault. He's still in the process of trying to grow into a player. This is his first year of accepting major responsibility. He's played better against Mississippi State. He played pretty good this first half. He actually practiced really well yesterday. We got to stay in a positive place with him and allow him to continue to grow. It's the guys have been here for a minute that got to play better and be more connected with what we're doing.
Michael and Nina?
I know you were really excited about Jalen McCreary in the offseason and what he was doing. And I know he's dealt with a lot this year. Obviously today, just looking at the numbers, kind of a rough game for him. I mean, where is he kind of where he was before the season? Where is he kind of on that path? And do you see him making progress since he's come back?
Hit and miss. I mean, he's got good moments, and then, he misses a shot and he jogs back on defense talking to himself. And goes and stands under the net, and his man sets a ball screen, and they come down. Now somebody else has to help. They kick to the opposite corner three, and you might sit there and say, well, he's nitpicking. Well, that three made a big difference in this game today. That's not a play that happens if he's not worried about himself because he missed a shot. And that's been the problem, And then he got 0 rebounds, and when you're getting your tail kicked on the glass like we have the last 2 games, especially on the defensive glass, you gotta play with a little more personality and oomph than that. And in Alabama, it was an all-out assault on the rim every time they shot, and we weren't very good on the defensive glass. That one free throw. We just don't box out the shooter, and the ball bounces, and there's 2 guys there, and they look at the ball, and neither one goes after the ball. So that guy shoots it and misses. And now there's a backside rebound, and Jalen just stands there and watches the ball. He doesn't go after the ball, and they get it, and they make a backside 3. Again, you can say, well, that's nitpicking. When you're playing a top 10 team in the country, you can't make those mistakes. Those are unacceptable, especially when I give you the offensive numbers that I shared with you before. And that's and all those plays are selfish plays because everyone's consumed with themselves rather than be consumed with making the next play, making sure that you're in the right place. Throw your body in the way. That's the most unselfish play anyone can make. When you don't throw your body into the fight, that's not very good. And that's 2 games in a row where we've been just crushed on the defensive glass.